Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast, episode 38. In this episode, I speak with the creator of the Amazon Prime series, For a Fee. Ogeno is an amazing human being I met in Las Vegas several years ago who actually gave me the opportunity to be in his series, For a Fee. And he's one of the most brilliant, hardworking, ambitious people I've ever met. When Ogeno says he's going to do something, he does something, and he does it amazing. And I was very blessed to have him come on the episode tonight to talk about season 2 of For a Fee, which is available on Amazon right now. Season 1 and 2 of For a Fee available on Amazon. And the book of the episode, and a fitting book for the gentleman that we have on tonight, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dida, I'm not sure how he pronounces his name. And they actually make one called The Way of the Superior Woman, I believe. But this is geared toward men. It's a book I just got again. I've given it away twice, but it's really good. It's just really how to become the best version of yourself, how to put things in perspective, and to really just live your best life. And they have a version for women too. But again, the book of the episode, The Way of the Superior Man by David Dida. With that being said, here's my conversation with Ogeno. Ogeno, welcome to the Sam Dever Podcast.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate being here.
This is an honor, man, because this is something definitely for this podcast. I'm like, I got to do this in person with them, but why wait, right? Like, why wait? We can do part 2 in person.
Right. True.
Everyone out in LA always asks me about, what is this For a Fee thing you're always posting? Like, what is that? For a fee. They just keep seeing For a Fee. And I tell them there's this guy in Las Vegas who I know who created this series out of nothing. Literally nothing. Like, just like we were talking in the pre-show room. I met you at a bar. And you were telling me about this idea for this show concept you had.
Right.
You had texted me the previous Thanksgiving, hey, I got this idea. And then I meet with you. And then next thing you know, you're throwing like a little meet and greet for the cast. And next thing you know, I'm in the back of an SUV in North Las Vegas coming out reciting my first monologue on camera. And the rest is history because you shot an entire season all by yourself and with help, of course. And now you've launched another season 2, which we're going to plug this entire podcast out now.
For sure. Out now. Shameless plug.
On Amazon. And man, I've told so many people that, because, and there's different routes to take things in entertainment, but how many people have that screenplay or that pilot that's been on the shelf for years?
Right.
Where you not only, I'm not only going to try to make a pilot. No, I'm going to film a whole entire season.
Right.
And then I'm going to do season 2 and do it even bigger. And I'm not going to lie, man, that intro to season 2, KC had told me that it was really, really good. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm looking forward. Then I'm like, oh my God. So I'm leading that all in to say, man, like, what you have done is a major, major accomplishment, man. And I have the utmost respect for it. So for those listening or watching that don't know what we're talking about, perhaps, what is For a Fee? How did you come up with it? What happened?
Right. Well, first of all, thank you, brother, for letting me know how you feel about it after you checked it out, that it was a positive, after you checked it. So that's definitely dope. Shouts to KC as well. For a Fee is nothing in life is free. Everything is for a fee. So For a Fee comes with different meanings. You have the monetary side of it, where nothing in life is free and everything is for a fee when it comes to money. But you also have the consequences that you pay, which is the fee that you pay for things that you've done along life. So I think that's the other side of the fee, so it's more of a consequence on the other side of things that you either have to deal with after you've done something previously. So I think it's everything, really. For a fee is everything. The doctors do it for a fee. The lawyers do it for a fee. The strippers do it for a fee. The pimps do it for a fee. So I think that those three words in itself is a conversation starter just for a fee. There's nobody. It's like, what is that? But it's everything. That's what For a Fee is.
And it's also one of those concepts too, where even though you may not pay monetarily, you're paying in one way or the other. Nothing really, like it says, nothing in life is free. You think it's free, but
Exactly.
just because you didn't pay cash money doesn't mean there's a price
Right.
to pay with that.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I agree.
And we've had this conversation before, but for this podcast's sake. So what made you come up? What was that idea where you just did it just pop in your head? Like, I'm going to do this series, or was it like a progression to get to that point?
Right. It was kind of both because I've been thinking about it for a while off and on. And the concept has just been there. So as you know, I used to do music more often than now, but in the musical, like I guess prime of things, I was doing like I did the CD like not prime, but the first CD. So when it was fresh, I did this CD called Cut Above the Rest, and there's a song on there called Catching Feelings. So I don't know if I discussed this with you before, but Catching Feelings is pretty much what 4Fe's first episode was with season 1. So I've always had that concept in my mind, because it has been taken from real situations and mixed with film and, different things that we put together 4Fe. So it's loosely based on things that occurred with me initially for the first season, and I just branched off from there and, it blossomed into something else.
Wow, I didn't know that. So that first episode, which I remember vividly, of which everyone should go check out on Amazon,
Right.
4Fe.
Right.
Just
Yes,
constant
4Fe.
plug every 5 minutes, just 4Fe
Right.
on Amazon. Go check it out.
Right.
Season 1 and 2. But yeah, so that was just one concept that you have. So that's amazing. As a creative, I really love that because you thought it was one thing and then you like put it together. Oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe there's more. Maybe it starts to unwind. It's this whole thing.
Right. Because as I was saying earlier, 4Fe is everything, right? So you're able to place things in perspective when you're behind the scenes, kind of putting it together and getting it going in the direction that you want it to go. And then you start to see it picking up speed. And it's pretty much like you're coming up, you're the creative. So for me, doing the music, it's kind of in the same vein because now you're writing, you're doing these different things to keep things going and to keep things going in that direction that you could do different things with it. And, so even with the writing, you did music as well. Like it's kind of like that branch that you could kind of break anyway. And if the story's making sense and you continually going in the direction with it, you can open up into something great. So after the writing with the music, it kind of led me with the film thing. It was pretty much on the same lane. And it was like, okay, I could do this with this, and basing some things loosely off of the life experiences and doing different things like that. It kind of it was easy after that, I got 4 more seasons.
And also too, to give some people some backstory. I remember when I first met you, I knew you as a music artist. Right. And, I go, I'm going to go check out Ogeno's website and all that. And, usually they'll have like a few music videos and stuff like that. But dude, you had like 16 or something at one. And then I remember you said to me like, dude, I've done a lot of music videos, and they were like high-end music videos. So when you said you were putting this together, I knew you were serious because I had seen you do other stuff. So it's amazing to see that evolution. Like you take it from the music and then also incorporate the music. And another thing I love about 4Fe is you've really incorporated a lot of artists in the city of Vegas. Right, you've really brought a lot of talented people, both acting and music, on board for the soundtracks and for all that. So I think it's really amazing, like how you really, like people talk about, so even if some like outer company were to come into Vegas and film a show, cool, right? But you actually created out of Vegas. That's what I love. And that's the first time it's actually came to me. like you actually, it is a Vegas show because everyone in there is tied to Vegas in one way or another. So I thought that's pretty cool how you've done that with everybody.
Yeah. A lot of people have done different things here, like CSIs and stuff, but it's not, I like real, like I like reality, you know what I'm saying? I don't want anything too crazy that it's like unbelievable. And, so that's probably behind some of the work that I'm doing too with the film. Like I'm trying to do the same thing with what I want to watch. I would want people to watch, something more believable, something more real, something more relatable, something that you could touch, you know what I mean? Something that's tangible that you'd be like, okay, yeah, I kind of got a situation or I know somebody like that, or that's familiar,
And, really all your previous experience of how you ran your music business and all that, how much did that play into what you do with 4Fee? Because I mean, you're the director, you're the creator, you are the star. Like, there's so many things. You're that dude. That's your song in that intro for season 2, correct?
Yeah.
That song is fire. Like,
Appreciate that, man.
I looked at your IG and it said, "Oh, that's Ogeno's." I'm like, that song is fire, man. So you're still producing amazing music. So it's like, can you kind of like, because a lot of people that listen to this are actors or they want to make films. A lot of creatives tune into this podcast, and for anyone wanting to just start to make stuff and do things, can you take me through your process and like all the hats you wear and really how you got something from a piece of paper to now it's out on Amazon?
Right. Well, it's just consistency, man. You know, you say that all the time. Consistency is key, right? So when you're dealing with all the things that you have to do when you're working on like shows like that, I think the best thing for you to do is to make your steps and to make your moves. The mistake a lot of people make is kind of like sitting back and not necessarily getting the first thing done to get to the next step. So it's like if you keep sitting back and not really going forward, it's you can't get anything done with that. You know what I mean? So you're in a bad position in the first place if you keep, oh, you know what, I got this idea, I want to do this, I got this idea. You can't keep having this idea. You got to do something. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting forever thinking about this thing. Even if it's like, okay, it could be better, you get it to the best that you can get it, and then you move forward from there. You know, I don't think that perfection is, you know, because my mindset is like, okay, I do it because this is an independent thing. Like, nobody gave me money for this. Like, you know what it is. Like, this isn't something that somebody's here like, oh, well, you know, here, you know, we're studio. Here's 500,000 or here's 300,000 to work with this and maybe pay the actors, whatever. This is all out of my pocket. So it's like, I got to be serious with what I'm doing, right? I got to be serious with what I'm doing. And I don't know another independent series of the caliber that we are. Independent, like for real, you know, not Lionsgate gave him a bag or MGM is behind it somewhere or, you know, UMC. This is just me. There were series before this, but the quality is different. You know what I mean? So I think it's just I always try to battle against the industry versus battling against the person up the street, because really at the end of the day, that's the goal. You know, the goal is to, you know, whether I don't know what most people are doing it for is to get to that position, I would assume. But I think the goal for most people is that success. And that successful point is when you get to that position, you know? So if people look back at your work and see that you're able to do these things from little that you have, all they know is like, I could do this with like your money. Imagine if we give this guy this. You know, and it might not even be a big bag to them. It might be like $4 million or something that we might look at differently. But a studio is just like whatever. Like, it's nothing. That's like a small budget, whatever. You know, that's nothing that's really that they're putting big money into, like $400 million to make films, $200 million. They do that. So when they give you $3 million, $10 million, that's like a small little budget to work with. That's to pay actors, get the editing done, filming, pay everybody on set. It's like, you know, the catering, everything. So that's not just, oh, 10 million, oh, it's in my pocket, let me go in the bank.
10 million will go quick.
Exactly. So, you know, but like I said, I don't know another series really like ours, man. I think that's the special part. And the Caribbean and American mixture, I think, is good too, because, you know, you remember Belly, you know, there's Shatas and there's always that Caribbean aspect in there that people are intrigued by, because people don't really know as much about that side of things, like as they know about the Black American side, or even the Black Americans don't really know as much of the Caribbean side as, you know, they should. But I think because it's just two separate genres or two separate places, really, because if they were there, you know, they go visit, but it's more of the music that they know versus the people, you know, when it comes to the Caribbean music. The reggae music is what they'll know more so than the people themselves. But, you know, if you got somebody to move to America, you might have somebody from the islands that you look at like, oh, okay, yeah, I know he's from here, he's from there. But now if you put it on screen and people kind of dig that vibe, it's like, oh, okay, these people are this way. At least they have a perspective of what's really going on in the islands, you know, or how we talk. And I'm from the Virgin Islands. I was born in an island called St. Kitts, but I moved to the Virgin Islands. That's where I grew up. So my whole thing from my side of the viewpoint is I want to have people see that there are more islands than just Jamaica. I think a lot of people only speak on Jamaica. Shout to Jamaica, but it's other islands. There's more islands and states. So I always wanted to present that. We didn't really have a Virgin Island representative or St. Kitts representative that was leading in a position like that. So, outside of that, I mean, I didn't really have anybody else that I could depend on every day and to really put this together. I know I could, so I know I could depend on me, but that's another reason why I really was the point person for all those different things to answer your question about the many hats being worn, right? So from the concept, it was, who do I think might be dope for this? Who do I think might be dope for that? Of how I put it together to get it to the point to being on Prime. So it was a writing process, having like really a thought out process about how you're going to put this thing together, how you're going to possibly shoot it. At the time, I had someone that shot my music videos, or I knew from the music video world. And I contacted him. Shouts to Willie.
Very talented.
Will 725. He was on board for season 1. So, and he started with season 2. But yeah, Will is super dope. So we got him, and then my guy Smoke got somebody else that he was working with at the time, and then we just started pushing with it. But after we were done with season 1, I realized there's different things. Like, after we were done with season 1, I didn't go to film school. I went to film school after that. I went to Los Angeles Film School, actually. Graduated from there before I did season 2. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm so low key, so like just be doing my stuff and just in the background. A lot going on though, you know what I mean? So when I graduated from film school, it was like, okay, well, we had season 1 out and it was already pushing, but I kind of learned more of conceptual filming. Like you can't use random 2-3 different cameras or whatever the case may be. So different things like that we were learning, like to get the same cameras, to the type of cameras you get, full frame, story structure, with how many acts, 3-act story structure, whatever the case may be. So we're learning all these different things in school. And I also went to Las Vegas. I think it was the Academy, Las Vegas Film Academy or something like that. They shut down now. It was another school out here at the time. But Las Vegas Arts Institute, I think was the name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I went there. So for directing, right? So after I was done with all this, it was like, I wanted to always put myself in a position so when I'm sitting down in these rooms or whatever, like these people like, oh, I did Harvard or I did it. So I could also be in those conversations respectfully. You know what I mean? Like, look, yeah, I graduated from Los Angeles Film School as well. I attended, the Arts of Las Vegas, the Arts Academy of Las Vegas, or the Art School of Las Vegas. So all these different things that I wanted to add to the resume would be important if I'm trying to really get into this world, right? So I think that was some of the moves that I was trying to make then to even be more solidified when I get past this. Because a lot of people in the industry right now, they don't really have degrees in this. It's just the experience, and they've been doing it since the 90s or 80s, and now they're the OG of the game. Those people who are working in Hollywood right now, a lot of people didn't really go to school. Some people just got on. Some did, but everybody didn't. Some just got on, and his experience is the best thing with film, because the more you go, the better you get with it. The concepts, the ideas that you have, how you put it together, it comes easier, it comes better. So after doing school, after getting season 2 completed, writing it, getting it set up, I think I initially wanted to go like 10 episodes. We had an Atlanta set that we were going to do. We had a lot of different things that set us back this season. For season 2, like we had a whole Atlanta portion that we were going to do, and Delta called maybe, I think we were going to leave like a Friday, and they called like Wednesday, like, hey, this was when COVID was really just starting to pick up. But we, at the time, nobody really knew what was going on. So it was like,
what was going on.
They called and they shot an email first, and then they called. It was like, look, we're going to cancel all these flights. We had about 5 people going on the crew with us, and then we had people in Atlanta that we were going to deal with as well. So it was just disheartening at the time, but obviously, worked out in the end to be what it is, like as COVID is now. It worked out that we didn't go, because who knows what happened then. Thankfully I ain't caught COVID or anything over the time space. But that's what happened during that time. So we had a lot of things like that popped up that we couldn't get done or couldn't complete because of COVID at the time. But we just pushed through to try to get to completion.
And thankfully, you had a good amount of stuff filmed before COVID hit, because that was the first thing I thought of. Like, man, at least he got a lot of it filmed before.
Exactly. Yeah. So it kind of worked out. Yeah. So yeah, man. After that, we put it together. Like in 2020, we started with the edit. 2021, I shopped it, and 2022 we released. So it was a process, and thing I learned with it is like you need distribution when you're dealing with film. You need to have a plan. You need to have different things that you're doing. And like I said, as I go, I'm learning more and more. So, to get to where you're trying to go, you have to always advance and progress. So season 1, I did it myself. I had an Amazon account, I still do, and I just put season 1 up there and did things in that manner. It was going on streaming on Prime and all that. And season 2, I decided to go with distribution because they had a few other outlets and different options for it that it could go to, So I think that was important as a step up to show growth, to progress. I think we discussed this before. Like, I'm a type of person, though, I don't like to really say until it's for sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't even like to release it out of my mouth. Like, I'll let you know is my favorite word. You know what I mean? Because I don't, because the minute you say something and it go left, dude, you don't know how things are. You know what I mean? I could have told you months ago, oh yeah, it's going to come out on this. And then it's like, we still waiting, Sam, my bad. It's not, I don't like to do that. So I like to be, when I say something, it's solid, so that's exactly how
I can vouch for you on that, man. As long as I've known you and worked with, everything you say happens. Ogeno says this is happening, it's going to happen. Don't know what sometimes, because I agree with you. It's better just to say, hey, it's out. Right. To keep pushing it back or saying, oh, we ran into this or that. No, just it's out.
Right. Exactly. Because it's like nobody cares, go harder, right? So it's like at the point when I already have that mindset, like I don't necessarily, we said coming soon and blah, 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 but now we got it. So I'm not going to say it's out until it's out and we got that locked in that people could actually go and view it at that point, So that was the position I was in at that point, not really wanting to say like, oh, it's going to be here or it's going to be, nah. When it's dropped, here you go. Even better. You know what I mean? You ain't got to assume or guess. Here it is. You know what I mean? And that's the type of situation I like to set it for 4 feet. So it's not really no surety there. I want it to be sure.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to add on too, I mean, for season 2 especially, the team grew too.
Right.
It's the amount, and there's, the feel, and both seasons had their own feel, and season 1 had an awesome feel because it's the grassroots stage, right? Like it was like we're just going to run and gun. Like we're just going to do that. I remember filming the one scene, the famous Serrano scene, which I won't give away too much, but the sun was setting and we only had a certain amount of time. And I remember I couldn't find where it was at. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I remember.
You got to turn here, then turn there. And like I get out of the car, I'm like, oh, we got to get that. We got to
get it. Remember the sun was going down? Yeah.
But we got it.
Yeah, we did.
And then season 2, definitely, you got more people on board. You got, script supervising and all these other things. And I'm like, that's when I'm like, oh yeah, like he's got the offices and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, no, he's doing it. And then even just seeing this season 2 quality alone, season 1 was great, but season 2 definitely, like, you went up a level or 2 or 3. With that intro, you went to level infinity.
Jeez. I think the intro, I wanted to make a statement, just like, like we're not playing like we serious. We coming.
You made a statement, dude.
And like I said, like I think that I could see that on a network. I could see that somewhere being played. So I just wanted it to be like, look, I'm capable of doing this. You know what I mean? So whoever is looking, just know.
I actually called KC just like within seconds of watching it, and I said, no joke. It doesn't matter just because I'm in the intro, and thanks for that, by the way. Like, it's like if you told me that show was on HBO, I would believe you. Like,
I
It's
agree.
HBO, and HBO Max is the king of shows.
I agree.
That and Netflix and all those people. So it's like I would 100%. It's so, and how you intertwine the people are gonna have to go check it out. Amazon for a fee to really know what
Yes.
we're talking about. But
Yeah.
when I saw that violin, I'm like, oh no, he didn't.
Yeah. I did.
No, he. Yes,
I
he
did.
did.
I did. I did. I did it, man. You
So,
know.
but that's what I love about what you're doing, and like you're saying earlier, like it's unlimited. What you're the creator, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly. We could
So
go
when
to
you can
Mars next
do the
season in season
next
3.
phases of all this, I mean, dude, sky's the limit, man. Like
That's
I
what I'm
really,
saying. You could be an astronaut in season 3. You want to be a police officer, the first one, and you know what I mean. We could do whatever. Like really, not literally, but literally. If you want to, we can make it work, and it makes sense. We could do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the key, and the ownership is key, and so you don't really lose the rut of everything. Like I think like a lot of people when they're doing stuff they go too commercial or whatever. Like if we branch off and try to do something else with 4Fee, I think it's important that we try to stay in the same vein because you don't want to get too far away. Because I think once it's surrounding the 4Fee vibe, I think we'll be all right. Because I've been having different ideas, and I present them to you at another date when it's certain. But I've been having different conversations as well of for what's next. I don't like to say until it's done, but definitely looking into maybe doing like feature. Definitely looking into maybe turning 4Fee one of the some of the storylines in a different direction, or trying to go in a different way. Still have the series that we're doing, but maybe try to do something else as well.
oh, the
To
spin-offs are endless. The
yeah,
spin-offs are endless. That you
exactly.
can do.
Because initially my mindset for 4Fee was like CSI, right? So it's like CSI Miami, Las Vegas, whatever the case may be. I think now we're at the juncture that, because season 1 was pretty much just showing off like, oh, we went to the Virgin Islands, we were in New York, we were in Las Vegas. You could have, that's 3 CSIs, or 4Fees. That's 4Fee Caribbean, 4Fee Las Vegas, and 4Fee New York. And I'm just introducing characters as we go to whoever is thinking of these ideas with me. Like, look, hey, this could get picked up. These are just ideas, and I'm capable. You know what I'm saying? So season 2 is the same concept, but just more so based only in Vegas on season 2. More so because we didn't really get to do the Atlanta stuff, but I think it even made it better just because it was strictly just Vegas.
Serrano moves to Los Angeles. Wink, wink.
Who knows?
Los Angeles.
Yeah, who knows?
I'll still come to Vegas.
You got some things that you're running from, so I don't know. Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, and so I guess another question I have for you. What was I think aside from the obvious, obviously the COVID pandemic happened and that probably, you're like, oh, we didn't see that coming, but you were able to edit. Aside from that, what were some challenges in season 2 that you had to overcome?
Okay, so I think the most significant thing really was COVID, man. Like I think at the end of the day, everything was moving smoothly with the plans that we had, and then it just came in out of the blue. We didn't expect it to be like that because, like I was just telling you about, even the flight getting canceled. We was going out there crew deep, so it was like five flights getting canceled on the week before we were supposed to shoot. It's like, what? Like we had the itinerary, I had the Airbnb, but everything was set. You know what I mean? And then it was just like, oh, it's just not happening. So that changed a lot. A lot of script editing probably was, another thing too. People leaving, not being here, and having to complete the storyline or try to complete a storyline, or things like that. So just dealing with different little issues like that during the season, I think probably would be, I would say, like the most difficult, because you want it to be what you envisioned initially, but I think we still did a pretty good job putting out for what we had.
And by doing that, I mean, you coming from the music world, has this evolved you to just wanting to do purely films moving forward? Do you want to do just series? I mean, where are you at creatively with that? Maybe outside of 4Fee as well.
Right. I think that with season 2 is just like, you kind of in a different mind space. Season 1, I was like, maybe I might, do music or whatever. But then it was like, you get 600 and I forget how much views. It was like 600 some thousand. So in that episode 10 from season 1, it was like, if the music isn't doing that, then we got to do what's doing that,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point. Yeah, right.
So it just I'm a logical thinker. So I mean, for me, it's just like that makes sense, you know. So that's what I was doing after, and then now it's just like I'm not even interested in really performing music, any of that stuff. Is just about forfeit, you know. And if it's music that I got so much music, dude. Like some music that I use is old music that we had, you know what I mean? All this music that we've been sitting and having to maybe use as singles and stuff. Like, yo, let's use it in a series.
Repurposed for a series. I think that's beautiful what you just said for any creative to hear. I mean, I definitely hear what you're saying. Like sometimes it's hard as a creative when you have in your mind what you want the stuff to be, but then like you just said, like, well, this over here I did, and this is getting a lot of not that this didn't get any traction, but this is getting a lot more traction.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just fuel everything into that. Like, so
Right.
that takes some discipline to be able to detach, you know, from your babies, as you call it. But I think that's beautiful, though. You don't have to throw that away. You're actually able to bring it with it.
Because you still own it, right? So
Yeah.
like I was telling you again with ownership, if you still have ownership over this and it's under your regime or umbrella or whatever the case may be, you could utilize it in any way you want. I got a bunch of singles that just we were planning to do this with or planning to do that. It's just sitting. So I'm like, oh, we could definitely use this. Still hot, it's dope, you know, and it's for film. So you hearing 15 seconds, you know, outside of the intro, you're hearing like a short snippet of a song. So it's not necessarily something that's like extended version, you know? So I think, you know, when people get it in taste like that, it definitely helps the show even go along better because it's like making it move, you know?
Yeah. Another thing I realized that you just said it, and you said it on Instagram, or I saw it on your Facebook stories. You did this little 15-second thing about ownership. Could you
Right.
talk about that? Because I'm with you, like when it comes to that. And I have not done things to the level that you've done them, but I have done my own projects in the past and plan on doing some stuff moving forward. I just don't like people telling me what to do. I don't like people telling me what to do. I have my vision that I want to make. I'm open for feedback and what we can turn that into, but you really nailed it on the head. When you own your stuff, man, you own your stuff. No one's going to tell you what
Right.
to do. And so could you talk about that a little bit, especially
Yeah,
for people that want to make their own projects?
right. I think like, you know, it's so key that when you have the ownership, it doesn't matter if you think that, oh, maybe I won't do anything with it. It's mine forever. So it's like, you know, it's my creation. It's my IP. So I think it doesn't matter how long you have it, whether you regurgitate, whether you use it for the first time, nobody has ever heard it, whether now somebody's hearing this, they go check out your old stuff, just whatever the case may be, you have all these options to utilize because it's yours. So the key to having that, like the key to having like ASCAP and BMI. So when you have ASCAP and BMI, you get a spin there, and you also get a spin whether it be, you know, for the streams, you know, the stream spin. So it depends on how set up your music is. You have to set it up so it's like ironclad. It's not necessarily a difficult thing to even just go get your business license and open a business account and have funnel the funds through there to get yourself situated, you know. But when you get a business, you have to now feed the employees or the people who work with you, work for you. It's just a part of what it is. Or there's people going to be like, yo, what the hell? You don't even appreciate it. So I don't even like to call it like, this is the check for you. This is my appreciation. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Because I don't think anybody really has the work that you could put on what everybody poured into season 2 and tried to make happen for the film. So, you know, that was just more self-appreciation.
And I know you already kind of talked about it, and you don't have to go into detail, but is your wheels are already spinning for season 3 or whatever is going to be the next installment. Can you say anything about it, like anything, or is it pretty much just right now promote season 2, and then for like you said, you'll let us know when
right.
the next step's ready? You know?
Season 3, I'm definitely having ideas. I already put down pointers from I don't know, maybe 2020, like mid 2020, because I was done with season 2. So I was already putting down pointers 2021 about what I wanted to do for 3, just in preparation to, you know, see, okay, what's feasible, what makes sense, what could work, what can we get done with what we have, what cameras are we going to use for this, you know, what type of frame shot do I want, does this storyline lead into the one that's following from season 2? You know, all those things I think about because I am the creator. I got to be like, okay, well, this, and this is this. So I think at this point now is just to put everything together and to try to tighten up the stories. I've been even thinking about getting a writer that's in the writing for SAG or, you know, just somebody that's reputable, you know what I mean? And I think that will also be beneficial for the show.
So basically, you know, build the team.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. It's all about a build, right? Because if you're doing this, like I said, independently, like for real, like you have to start delegation. You have to start getting assist from people who have more knowledge than you in a certain field. Because when I first came on, it was about, okay, well, I could use these guys' cameras that he has a camera, he has that he shoots videos with. And it's like, okay, I need a different camera or a bigger camera or a better camera than the one that we're using now. And then, you know, just whatever. It's always about to progress. So I think even with season 3, it's about progression still. With the camera, with the work, you know, just everything is always that in my mind. Otherwise, you're going to be stagnant. You know, like I told you before, it's kind of like we was doing the videos. Everything has to be in competition with the industry, not in competition with the people that you're playing against. You know what I mean? It has to be the industry.
Yeah, and you really, I mean, it's a snowball, right? Because you've earned the team now, and what I mean by that is you've done not only one season but an upgraded season. The team built now. Like when it comes time to recruiting other people, it's going to be way easier sell. You know, you're just not some guy with an idea saying, "Hey, I got a good idea." Like, look at it. You know, you can actually show people. So getting those higher end writers and getting those, it's going to be, it's just going to keep going. The more levels.
Exactly.
Like you know this in music and film, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Anything that everyone eventually sees, it was in the works for a decade or more usually. Not say this is going to take that long, but it's like it's several years.
It's a
several
build.
Years.
You know? It's definitely a build. And I think that, you know, people, even when they see this, they probably going to be like, God, they came out the blue, or, you know, who's this wannabe power or just whatever. Like, yo, we've been out for years. Like, you know, we've been out for years. Like, y'all just hearing about us, but we've been out for years. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, man. You're going to always have, and I tell people it's on the team, like, don't worry about online, because online is like a comedy show. It's whoever is going to make the funniest comments to get the most likes. That's what people are trying to do. So I try to focus on not really even paying attention to that. I don't even be online like that. I post and then out, or somebody else on the team is posting and we out. You know what I mean? So I think when you start looking into things like that, now you start to question yourself, like, damn, am I a fake island dude? You know what I mean? Am I not from the islands? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. You can't get caught up in that, because now you start to question what's real. That's never good.
And let me ask you one question I wanted to ask you. I don't know if I've ever asked you this, because you act in this full blown as well. Essentially the star of the show. There's other stars in the show, but your character in particular. And how is it to act and direct and handle everything at the same time? Was it hard to separate that for you, or were you able to transition, you know, all right, time for me to do acting stuff, boom, and then you go immediately back to director? Can you take me through that process a little bit?
So it's like the first time I did it was season 1, but see, what happens is, like, I think season 1 I was more so kind of saying to myself, like, oh, okay, somebody else knows what to do during this portion. Somebody might be able to do this or do that. And, you know, the reality of that is I'm the boss of the show. I'm the go-to. Like, I can't go to somebody and be like, hey, what do you do right here? So I had to realize, like, this isn't, it's a team effort, but it's still, you have to have a lead, right? So even with the directing, I wanted to just be like, hey, let me know what I should do. But then I had to realize I had to direct, like, let this guy know, like, look, I need this. And then going into season 2, same concept. So it became more easy, but it's still a task. You know, it's still a task. Just to, you know, you don't know, you can't see the screen. I can't see the monitor when I'm acting. So it's like I can't see what I'm doing. And it's like, was that a good take? Was that bad? So we got to, it's longer, because now I got to go back, look at the take, whatever. So I might do like 3 of them just straight, and then go and check the 3 out, versus 1, go look, Boss was there too. Shout out to my
Shout
guy
out
from
to
the new,
Boss.
yeah, shout out to my guy from the New Sound Empire. You already know how deep Boss gets. So he was there assisting with what we had going on as well, because he's on the producer side as well. So with his company, the New Sound. So I think it was good to have him there trying to help out during those times, because for me, it was like, okay, well, how do I look on that side of things? Like, he knows how I should be moving, and he knows how I should be doing the lines and the vibe I need from this scene and all that. So I think that's somebody that I relied on during those times where I had to be behind the camera as well.
That's a great insight. And one thing, a couple of quick things. I want to tell you, I heard in an acting school, a Clint Eastwood story, which he directs and acts and all his stuff for years. He talked about how one time, I can't remember what movie it was, but he was getting all this prep going, and it was to the wire. Then finally it was like midnight. He's like, all right, got everything done. Then he realized, oh, I didn't work on any of my acting stuff for tomorrow. So he stayed up all night, had to learn lines and work on the role of what he wanted to bring to it. So yeah, it's a lot, man. And I want to tell you I don't know if I've told you this before, but one thing you really taught me, because I've done a lot of behind the camera filming people, and then then being on camera. But with you've taught me. You and shout out to Kelly Schwartz, who's also in Las Vegas. Two of you that I've worked with. You guys have both taught me to trust the other director when you've done film, because like there was a couple times on set where I'm like, you sure you don't need me to do that again? I can do it again. Right. And then you go, you're good. No, that was great. Don't do it again. Like, so I'm like, okay, he's seeing, I can't see myself. So
that's the thing.
You know what you're doing. So it's like, you've taught me that, like when you are working with when you're working with other people, you do just have to let go. And like, I just, they're the ones looking through the lens. They know.
You have to. You can't be both sides at one time. So it's like you almost have no other option but to do that way, And I think it's important that you're able to do that with somebody that you actually believe in, that could get this vision out the right way, And I think that's important, man. Like, even when you see it back after you question yourself, you're like, oh no, I was good. You know what I mean? Like, it was good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'll admit, when season 2 came out, I did the thing that every actor does. Where are my scenes?
Right. Of course.
And even looking back through them, and it's like, oh man, like, yeah, Ogeno knows what he's doing.
Sometimes.
No, it came out really well, man. The whole thing came out. I mean, it's a work of art. Like, I really consider you really put together something special, man. Again, I'm going to go back to that intro. Like, you're doing something amazing. And, we got a little bit of time left.
Okay.
I was wondering if, and I'm sure anyone listening to this has already picked up a bunch of stuff, but for anyone that is thinking, maybe not necessarily doing what you've done, but thinking of just starting something, they want to make a project. What would be your advice to them? For someone that's, especially something that they've never done before, but they really want to try it.
Like, YouTube and Google is your friend, man. A lot of people don't realize how much information is on there. Definitely had a lot of things, even with the editing and Premiere and sound. We had to score this whole thing. Just different genres of issues that you could run into. And Google and YouTube is your friend. Like, it has all those answers on there. Somebody's there explaining something, or somebody ran into the issue, found the fix, and they put it on YouTube for you to find. And a lot of the things that we had that needed to be fixed right away, we jump on there and we got them situated, man. So if you're running into issues or trying to get something going, even if it's up to, say you want to white label something and get it from China and sell it in Los Angeles, you can YouTube that, and they're going to take you through the steps of every single way. So you YouTube, hey, how do you make boom? Or how do you do boom? What's the setup? 3-point lighting setup, or just whatever you want to know is there. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's important that you try to do some research on the craft before you attack it, because now we're really like 5 years in, right? So 2017 we released season 1 online, and then 18 we released it on Prime. Season 2 got released in 22, and we're continuing, right? So I think that's definitely important. To the consistency is key, because with the consistency comes experience. So, like I said, we're 5 years in. So, a lot of things that you might see season 1, we have a little more experience on it. By 2, because we have the knowledge now, like, oh, okay, cool. Or things that, are just problems, like things that are always going to be problems in any film. Sound is a big deal. Like all those things that you need to be key. I think if you're doing it on an independent level, you have to just try to do it as best as you can, because a lot of people will get tied onto this and never put their work out. Never put their work out. And it could be great work. Somebody could see it and be like, oh, all you need is this. I got 50 million and I could give you 2 and this could go crazy because you did this with 10,000 or just whatever. You know what I mean? So you got to believe in yourself enough to get your work to the best of your ability. I'm not saying put out trash, but, put out something that you feel is great, and then try to push it up.
I love that. And one thing I got to mention too, I mean, from day one, you've been about the branding. I remember at the first meeting we had, you were already wearing a 4Fee sweatshirt. I'm like, damn. I'm like,
playing around,
but see, that, I know, but that's why it's like, you had the folder with the 4Fee, like you have the backpack. I'm like, man, but like, how important is branding? Because that's one thing too. Like, I have a particular thing. I'm going to be my own 4Fee, if you will. My vision of something I want to do, and I'm realizing I actually, you have taught me so much how important branding is, because you have that branding locked like before things even came out. So can you talk a little bit about that, like just securing that branding?
So the branding, so what I did initially was the individuals I was dealing with at the time, trying to create 4Fee, I was trying to bring them in on that side and just like, hey, let's do this the right way. I'm all about business, man. So my business mind is on that all the time. So we need to trademark this. We need to, and they weren't really hip to that. Like they weren't really going in that direction. So I just took it upon myself and just, completed everything. I just did it, paid for it, did everything. And I was like, because I know how important this is. I don't want to get to release season 1 and then somebody sends me a friggin' cease and desist, Sam. I'll be pissed. So it's like, somebody could do that if you don't have your stuff together. If you promoting 4Fee and you pushing and you don't have it trademarked, and now you release the season. Could you imagine we getting a cease and desist letter to take down season 1 and 2 now because you don't own 4Fee? I own it. So it's like nobody, and that's important. Again, go back to what we were talking about earlier, the ownership. You know what I mean? So everything I do, I own it. Like this isn't just something I'm saying. No, there's a trademark, patent or whatever the case may be on the 4Fee lettering. So it's like you can't really say stuff, people would be like, oh, this, but it's not really legally done. So that's very important when you're doing stuff. You got to do it the right way.
I think I may have told you this, but before I had gotten injured, well, I'll share 2 things with you real quick. One you haven't heard before. The first one I already told you. I was in the Sherman Oaks Whole Foods off Ventura Boulevard, and I'm wearing the 4Fee sweatshirt in the produce section, to be exact. And a woman came up to me and says, hey, can I take a picture of the back of your shirt? I said, huh? She's like, I guess she was like a graphic designer or something. She's like, no, just the logo, the lettering. I'm just in love with it. I want to take a picture of it. So props,
Thank
that
you.
brand. And this is my first time really telling anyone that you're the person that would be significant to tell. So when I got injured, I was wearing my 4Fee sweatshirt. So a lot of people saw it that day. On the
Right. Oh, man. I hate it when that happens.
I don't mean that as it was a negative omen or anything. I just so happened to be wearing it.
Right. I hated that happened to you that day, man. I was like, damn, Sam. Like, I was reaching out to you, making sure you was cool.
I really appreciate that, man.
Pushed all the way through, and look, we're on the other end of it. Because nothing lasts forever, man. This too shall pass. My mom just told me that all the time. So, it's true.
Isn't it great as we go into some life stuff? Like, isn't it? This life is so short and it's so fleeting. That's why when I see you, man, if you haven't watched it yet, the Kanye series on Netflix that's out, the
Yeezus?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it.
Or something like that.
Yeah. It's incredible. At least in my opinion, it was, because you really see someone that just believed in what they were doing so much. And it took years and years and years. And when he was at when he won his Grammy for College Dropout, I'm just paraphrasing, but he basically says like, everyone has their time, but not many people really use it. And once your time is gone, it's gone. Because even when you're still on this earth, there's certain things you're just not going to be able to do anymore.
Exactly.
So I look at you, man, and you're using your time. Like,
Yeah, but I'm using my time on things that I want to do.
that you want to do.
Yeah, I'm not using my time on things that people want me to do, or I mean, if it's somebody that's close to me, of course, I'm there. But I think it's like on the bigger scale of things, people get caught up with trying to please other people all the time. You really got to make yourself happy, because within that, like, I don't care what nobody say. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. This is what's going down. I own this. I own whatever. So you can't really say otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I go for. And I think, like, with that ownership, again, you're able to do that. You're capable of doing that.
Well, that's beautiful, Ogeno, and I really appreciate you taking the time here. Before I give you the last word, where can people find For a Fee? Where should they go? Where's all the places they should go?
For a Fee is now available on Amazon Prime, right? We have For a Fee IG is For a Fee Movie. Common spelling, FORAFEE, movie. I think that's the IG. I think we have so much things coming. Stay tuned, because we have so much things on the way. Season 2 is streaming now. Like I said, don't forget Amazon Prime. Leave a review for us. Let us know what you think. If you heard the interview, if you support Sam, support us. Appreciate it. We definitely do. So yeah, definitely support indie film. Shouts to everybody who was involved with season 2, season 1. Thank you, Sam, for believing in me to get us to the finish line. And we're here now, man. So let's continue to do good things with this show and progress. That's what it's all about. Let's continue stepping it up every time we go to another level.
Absolutely. And one thing I'll say real quick too, and I've told you this before, but I mean, thank you, because I tell people this story. You changed my life. Because I was into film and music, and I had been thinking about doing some acting stuff. But then when you came to me, all it really takes is someone gives you an opportunity. And we live in a world now where so many people are like, well, what's in it for me? Or what? Like, no, like, here's a guy. And at that point, we didn't know each other that well. We knew each other. But you're like, hey, let me give this guy a shot. And you gave me not only a role, you gave me a significant role. And I really took it really seriously. And that led me to taking acting classes, which made me going, I think I want to move to LA. I moved to Los Angeles, and then we're shooting season 2. I'm going from acting school to Playhouse West here, then driving to Vegas on the weekends and filming with you guys. Dude, it was beautiful.
Right.
I look forward to doing more. So, but I really thank you, not only for myself, but I thank you for everyone involved in that series. You have given a lot of people opportunities, and it takes a special person to be able to do that, and you're one of those people. Like, to not only give someone, you gave a lot of people an opportunity and made a lot of dreams come true, man. So I'm whatever you ever need me to do to help you or support you, I'm there, whether I'm in it or not. I
appreciate that, dog. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what I mean? It's all about that. It's more about us than me type of thing. It's very important to showcase to people that we don't live on the strip in Las Vegas. Even though I'm from the Caribbean, it's like, you get people thinking different ways about the city here. Like, oh, you live by MGM, or, you live on the strip. It's conceptually, people think a different way about Las Vegas. So, all this is important to showcase to people that, look, this is a regular city. It's crime, it's dry, it's everything here, just like every other place. But now you kind of get a behind the scenes lens. And I think that's why it started to do so well in season 1, because people had no idea, like, oh, this is Las Vegas. Like, and it surprised me that nobody has ever done anything like this in the city. That's crazy, like, ever. So, the real Las Vegas, nobody has ever done it.
I keep on wanting to give you the last word, but you made a really good point. Like, that's one thing you did. You took a city that's so well known worldwide, but it's all about the strip and gambling and clubbing and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But no, you're like, no, there's 2 million people here, probably more now after the pandemic. So many people moved there, and it's like, and it's expanding like crazy. Pro sports teams and all this stuff. Like, that is really cool what you did. I mean, you really have been the first to plant the flag for the city, in terms of really showing there's another part to Las Vegas.
Right. And that's important, because I don't think people know that there's an urban side, a minority side, a Mexican side, it's all the Hawaiian side, a Caribbean side, it's all this different avenues going on in the city, within the city. It's a melting pot, really. You got a Filipino side. There's so much stuff going on here. The Asian side, I try to showcase that in 4 feet. That's what it's all about, kind of like showing Vegas is about what's going on here, kind of, and make it crime drama so it could be interesting to the people and entertain.
Absolutely, man. And Ogeno, again, thank you. I always give the guests the last word. It can be as deep or as shallow as you want. It can be something you've been thinking about. It could be an idea. It could be absolutely. You could plug for a fee again, which we're going to do anyway. Anything you want. What do you want to leave us on?
That nothing in life is free. Everything is for a fee. All I ever wanted in life was everything. And I appreciate you for having me tonight, man.
Oh, man, I appreciate you so much. I cannot wait to see you in person, my man. Like, I can't wait. You and I have many of discussions to have outside of the realm of 4 fees.
Yes, definitely.
We will do that. Stick around just for a second, but Ogeno, thank you so much. Everyone, Amazon, check it out. 4 fees, season 1 and 2. My friend, take care.
Thank you, son. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.